Hi, I'm Liam Gartland. I'm account manager at Flyform.
Hi, my name is Bill Adamson. I'm a pre-sales solutions consultant at Flyform.
From an account management perspective, I ensure that I'm always speaking to my customers and they understand that we are always there for them, always ready to support them and always ready to help them.
I'm a solutions consultant. My role is to ensure that customers have the information they need to get their job done. And that comes from working with our colleagues back here at ServiceNow, who I like to go and see on a weekly basis just to get up to speed with regards to the respective technology stacks. Yesterday I went to a customer in London and it was a slightly different scenario, but however we went along there, had a good discussion with these two people to understand their requirements with regards to consolidating their service management applications onto the ServiceNow platform.
Obviously, we spend most of our time out on the road and we're talking to new customers, we're dealing with existing customers, we're building roadmaps for those customers, we're talking about their futures, how they can really, get the investment right and make sure that whenever they're making their decisions, it's based on best practices and with the real Flyform touch at its heart.
I think one of the nice things about that particular meeting we've just been in recently is that the outcomes are really positive from the customer's perspective. What they were looking for is try and have a roadmap and a plan going forward for the next 3 to 6 months relating to their ServiceNow investments. And what we're trying to do now is ensure that they have quick wins related to various aspects of the application, which they can implement along with ourselves in a timely manner and a cost-effective manner as well.
I think sometimes it's really easy to kind of focus on the platform and focus on the ServiceNow application, but sometimes it's also really important to really consider what the business objectives of the customer is. They have a need. They have a need to move away from an existing platform that's a legacy item, and they have to continue to move forward. It's a big business. They're moving very fast. They're moving in an agile way. They're looking to take their change management processes and flip them completely around into kind of a constant change mechanism. But they need support to do that, and that's exactly what we're there to help them with.
So usually what we need to do is that sometimes they have aspirations a little bit beyond their, what they can physically consume inside an organization. So what we try to do is find out what their ability to consume the technology and in what sort of timelines. So this really does help us provide a roadmap from our resources perspective and how we can roll this out into that particular organization. This is, again, how fast can these guys go? And what is their appetite for consumption? Well, what we try to do is that sometimes they try to consume the entire universe in one go, which is physically impossible. So the application is big. It's an ERP for IT, and what we try to do is take it in bite-sized chunks, something which they can manage and also adopt very quickly into their organization. The important thing with that is that they get early adopters within the organization as well, and they get sponsorship for the next stage of the investment within the ServiceNow suite.
I think one of the things that we also have to direct our customers in is understanding what that long-term vision looks like as well, because sometimes, although we always try and focus in on what today brings and what that's going to give to them as a quick win, if you like, they have to take those quick wins with a vision of what's coming in, not only the next 6 months, 9 months, it could be up to a 3-year or a 5-year roadmap.
Yeah.
And understanding what those building blocks are today will help them take that journey.
I think one of the main things about that is also their ability to understand and have knowledge of the product. So it may also require some training. So they may need to go out on some specialist training courses, get some specialist knowledge relating to, for example, the DevOps application, the governance, risk and compliance applications, and also some more details with regards to machine learning and the artificial intelligence applications which are coming out in the later versions of ServiceNow. So this is something which they need to get their heads around and how they can adopt that sort of technology into their organization and get good business benefit out of it in a short period of time. We at Flyform have been told we're doing this a lot better than other organizations due to the fact that we spend a lot of time listening to the customer, understanding their requirements, understanding what their needs are, ensuring that they've got the right sponsorship internally within the organization relating to the applications themselves and the projects. And with this, we're starting to get them working with us as a partnership, within those organizations. And that partnership is really driving positive behavior, positive outcomes from those implementations.
Yeah, I think the other thing, Bill, is obviously the organisation was built on 3 core tenets, which are quality, simplicity and value.
Yeah.
And that's right from the top. That's Phil and Aaron all the way down.
Yeah.
That sings right the way through our delivery team, through our sales team, through every campaign that we go through. We always hold those 3 core tenets right next to us, and that's what helps us deliver so many 10 out of 10s.
I think that the organisations also believe in those 3 elements as well, because at the end of the day, they want to keep it simple. They want to be able to have something which is deliverable and something they can deliver back to their organisation, and that's working in harmony with those core tenets. It's important to work with them to provide the necessary targets they want to achieve inside their organisation as well.
Demonstrations can be quite a difficult thing to get right for new customers, because often they don't know what they don't know. So what we try to do is tailor it around what we know about their organisation. We make it look and feel like their organisation's colours and their organisation's branding, to make it real for them. And then obviously we go through more of the technical aspects to set the scene for them and give them an understanding of what the art of the possible is with the platform.
I think one of the important things with that is to, when you're doing a demonstration to a customer, is that you are having some challenges overcoming the technology within ServiceNow itself anyway, but what we like to do is get demonstration data or data from the customer, things and elements of data which they can be familiar with, so they can see how it's going to fit within their organization from the outset. So they can immediately start to see the benefits of the application and not worrying about the details of the data itself within the demonstration. Actually see customers, as opposed to doing a demonstration over WebEx, which can be done, and have meetings over WebEx, again, which can be done. But there's a lot of value to actually sitting down at a customer premises to understand their requirements from an eyeball-to-eyeball perspective.
I think another thing from our perspective is that the culture of our organisation is something that's really important to us as Flyform, and it's really important for us to be on a customer site with them, to be able to show them what our culture means to us, but also for us to absorb their culture as well. We need to build up working relationships with these guys. We are a partnerships organisation, and we make sure that we understand how we can fit in and work with them to create an overall outcome. Because it's not just about the technology, it is about, on a human level, what those relationships that we build from the very first meeting really means to both our customers and to us and to the overall success of a project.
I think it's also important for a customer or prospect to see us in their offices. So when we go and visit them and they can see us walking through the various teams, also we tend to be able to get other parties within the organisation to come and join the meeting, which we wouldn't have otherwise done so. So this is something which, again, you can't do over WebEx. So unless they're invited to a WebEx meeting, they're not going to be part of it. But if you're in an office environment, you might bump into somebody who's maybe like the CIO or chief exec of that part of the organisation, where you can actually add value and show people the Flyform team have been there to help the customers out.
So a big part of our role obviously is taking on the role as a subject matter expert for our customers, and ensuring that as ServiceNow changes on a weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, whatever it is basis, that our customers are well fed and brought up to speed on what that means to them, what benefits they're going to achieve, what new applications are coming downstream. This is a really key part of, particularly with our existing customers, that we need to keep them at the forefront and ensure that, again, they're reaping the benefits of what ServiceNow are doing in the background and the developments to the platform that they're making.
Yeah, I think that's important, because the developments which are happening on the platform itself, they may have heard through the grapevine or through some community websites about certain functionality, but when we're actually in a demonstration with them, it might be of a complete tangent as far as the meeting is concerned. Or could you show us this? Could you show us that functionality? And we can do it there and then on the fly through a demonstrable way. So using demonstration data, using the application itself, and of course we always ensure that when we go to a customer site, we have got the ability to have a link to the internet to ensure they've got a Wi-Fi connection.
From a day-to-day perspective, we split our time out. We are either self-learning ourselves. We need to ensure that we are experts in our field and that we know exactly what it is that we're going and delivering to customers. We're spending time with customers from an existing customer perspective, making sure that they're fed and watered and that they understand what's coming downstream, they understand the platform, they understand the applications. And then we're also spending time with new customers and delivering the Flyform messaging to more and more customers as our pipeline grows and as our messaging gets out in the marketplace more so, more and more people want to speak to Flyform about what we can help them with.
Yeah, I think from a homework perspective, back in the office, what we do as preparation and before we go to see customers is to prioritise where we need to be at certain points in time. Get to the important customers first. And in doing so, we need to be able to ensure that we've got a good itinerary, we've got good logistics set up for the week ahead. This also helps with the ability to take on the learning curve required for the new applications and the new technologies, and also gives us time to sort of drill into the details relating to the customer itself. Do some investigative work around the customer stories, what the customer themselves as a business are doing, and what journey they're on, so that we can then articulate that within the customer meeting. So there's quite a bit of work that goes in the background ahead of going to see the customer itself anyway.